Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily express the views or opinions of Equity Media, its management, staff, or affiliates of WBOK.
Greetings and salutations. We welcome you back again on this Wednesday during your lunch hour to Black to Business. Happy Hump Day. I hope whatever you're eating, I hope it's good for you and good to you. So right now we about to have a conversation with a young lady who caught my eye on Instagram, and I was like, wow, who is this lady? So then I started following her, and when I looked around and I said, you know what? We need somebody to be at the Phenomenal Woman Empowerment Conference. We need a speaker that's going to not only be a speaker, but we need somebody who's going to be dynamic. And then when I did a little bit more research, I was like, not only is she a phenomenal, dynamic speaker, she's a phenomenal, dynamic woman. So my guest today is none other than, and I will present to you and present to some and introduce to others who really needs no introduction. I am Kristen Tucker, the president and CEO of ILSI Engineering. So, Sister Tucker, will you please tell the listening audience, who is Kristen Tucker?
I appreciate it. Oh, and first of all, I want to thank you for bringing me on, my friend. I appreciate it. My name is Christian Tucker, president CEO of ILSI Engineering. I'd say that I am a small business owner, small business advocate, women's business advocate, and just a lover of the city of New Orleans and our people.
Okay. Now, we will get into all that a little bit later, a tad bit later.
Yeah.
So, where did I Am come from, and when did you find your voice?
Listen, so those are two big old questions you asked me right there, right?
Right.
So my mother is the one that came up with my name.
Okay.
And she tells a very dramatic, long, drawn-out story about how Spirit brought her my name. My parents were both pastors.
Okay.
And so there's a long, drawn-out story there. She gonna have to be the one to come back and tell you
Okay.
about that story. Okay. But I would say I found my voice because of my parents.
Gotcha.
And because of the leaders that I have looked up to. My mother and my father were both dynamic people. My father, the late Robert H. Tucker Jr., an amazing man. My mother was a business person with him, and both huge community advocates.
Okay.
In a lot of different ways for a lot of different causes. And so I would say that building upon who they were and building upon the giants around this community, like the Barbara Majors of the world, the Geneva Colemans of the world,
All right.
all these the Jerome Smiths of the world,
Speak on it.
all these types of people are who have inspired me to be able to speak up, speak out when it comes time and when it's needed.
All right. So, speaking of black business, speaking of your business, how did ILSI Engineering get started, and how did you become the CEO and president?
Especially as a non-engineer, right?
Oh,
right? It's
okay.
crazy,
Nah, I
right?
didn't know that.
Yeah, I am not a civil engineer, but I am the second generation business owner of ILSI Engineering.
Wow.
We're a full service civil engineering, structural engineering, construction management, and program management firm. We primarily do government contracting, but we also do a lot of private development work, private industrial work. We've done all the engineering work for the River District of New Orleans, RD&I. And like I said, I'm a second generation business owner. Right?
Got it.
I was a police officer before this.
Okay. Heard it.
And in Baton Rouge, and my father and my mother were government contractors my entire life.
All right.
And my father worked in politics and in City Hall, and my father was a part of the economic integration of Black New Orleans, part of making sure that Black folk were in that number when it came to in the 60s when Moon Landrieu integrated New Orleans.
Right.
My father was in that number, sitting right side beside him, saying, if you're going to integrate New Orleans, it's not about bathrooms and water fountains. It's about economic empowerment, economic integration.
Gotcha.
And so he eventually started the company. It was 31 years ago now.
Wow.
and I'm in the 15th,
I saw that at
16th
the
year.
30th anniversary.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's a proud moment for me, big time. My father, I had to purchase this company from him when I came back.
Wow.
Took me 8 9 years just to be able to pay him back, and he expected his money
Right.
just like the people with the
Right.
rent,
Yeah.
okay,
Right.
and payroll. And so I was able to grow that business and to continue to grow it even hopefully today in the climate that we're in. You know what we're dealing with right now, and it's difficult.
Okay. And speaking on that, so how has the what's that DBI and all that affected you?
Yeah. Well, you know,
DEI.
yeah, DEI
Right.
and really disadvantaged business enterprise programs are being slandered and they're being lied about and they're being mischaracterized, right? Affirmative action is what it really is, and all of this exists for systemic barriers that have existed for our people for a very
Correct.
long time. And so when people are misrepresenting these programs as handout programs,
Got
when
it.
we have to work 5 times as hard to get half as far all the time,
Right.
is not only offensive and inaccurate and a mischaracterization, but I mean, it's just straight up lies and slander.
Okay.
And so DBE programs have helped us to get access into, get a toe into an arena, especially in government contracting on a lot of different facets
Hmm.
that has allowed us to be able to break into to programs we never would have been able to. And you know, I always tell people we market ourselves as a damn good engineering firm because we're a damn good engineering firm.
Got it.
We do great work. We just so happen to have the acronyms behind our name of disadvantaged business enterprise or women's business enterprise that um, may help us to try to get a toe into an arena. It's like a ticket into the game. That don't mean you playing.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. So, and I'm glad you brought that up because I want to explain diverse experience, diverse projects, and diverse people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is our my company motto. I made it that on purpose because the first thing I lead with is our experience, right? I say diverse experience because we do great work around this city. We design streets, waterways, sewers, pump stations, all that, right?
Right.
And we use diverse personnel in order to do that because we understand that the best perspectives at the table come from a lot of different perspectives at the table. And we hire and interview and team with people that a lot of larger legacy companies, a lot of majority companies, Fortune 500, don't even allow an interview to, right?
Gotcha.
And so we end up with some of the best people, and I do stand by my people and my engineers and my technical talent. We have damn good people, and I am grateful for them, and that's how we've been able to have such good perspective on so many projects.
Okay. Where's your office located?
We're actually right there on Elysia Fields, across from Brother Martin and the Bruno and Turbalon building.
Got it.
There's a few other great businesses domiciled in that building. Legacy Consultants, DMM, Dottie and Margaret. Everybody knows them.
Right.
A lot of great businesses in there, and that's where we are. But we work all over the nation. We've worked on projects as far as Peru,
Mm.
by way of our federal contracting work, and we're proud of that experience.
Okay. What other businesses do you own personally and professionally?
So that's my thing. I live and breathe my civil engineering company, like I said, it's a family business. I do have a partial ownership, a little bit of ownership, a very minority share of ownership, in a medical marijuana company in Mississippi
Got it.
with some partners who I've worked with for a very long time. Um, and honestly, there's a venture that I'm looking to try to get involved with on something that's like a side project.
Right,
I'm
right.
not ready to say what it is yet
Okay.
because it's still in idea
Well, keep
phases.
it close to you.
But something that's fun that can be a passion project, maybe eventually make some money, you know. But in the meantime, that maybe send my brain in a different creative direction. So stay tuned for that.
Got it. So, how long ago were you a Baton Rouge City police officer?
So it's been 16 years ago now. I was a Baton Rouge City Police under Jeff LaDuff, Chief
Okay.
Jeff LaDuff,
Yeah.
and great man, great
Right,
man.
right, right.
And this was right after Katrina. I was actually going to Southern University in Baton Rouge. I probably had 108 hours. I only needed 124 or 25 to graduate.
Right.
And Katrina hit, and you remember the Baton Rouge population doubled overnight,
Right.
right? And so I was interning for state police. Katrina hit, the state went haywire. State police went on a hiring freeze. It was all this like 225 versus 504 things you kept hearing. I couldn't stand that.
Right.
I couldn't stand hearing how badly people were talking about New Orleans folk.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I hated it. Hated it. And I'd find myself defending it. And so Baton Rouge police went on a serious recruitment launch. And I talked to them, and I got through that process pretty quickly. I went through the academy. I graduated president of my academy.
Gotcha.
There's only 3 women that graduated in my academy. There's 41. I think
Right.
we started with something like 47 people. We graduated 41 with 3 women, and we were solid.
Right.
I love that time.
I remember you. I was a juvenile probation officer, post certified for the city of Baton Rouge
Okay.
during that time, and Chief LaDuff was one of my trainers in the Basic Trainer Academy at LSU.
That's right.
I graduated from the last class that was there, the 155th.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so,
great.
yeah,
So
I
we've been
remember.
cool.
Yeah.
We've been
So
cool.
right now, if you want to phone in, dial in to speak with or talk to I am Christian Tucker, be a part of the conversation. Dial in, phone in at 504-582-9422. So how is ILSI engineering involved in the local community?
We're involved in quite a few ways. Of course, in our government contracting work, and whether it's designing streets and roadways, or designing all the types of infrastructure we do, or construction management. We work on things from the airport to the RTA to a lot of different projects. But more importantly, how we like to give back.
Okay.
And we get involved in our community in various different causes. We're especially passionate about STEM causes, especially with young women. We try to get involved in all types of leadership initiatives as well. I really love what Calvin Mackey is doing over there with STEM NOLA.
Okay.
And
Shout out to Calvin Mackey.
absolutely, he's an outstanding man, and he thinks big. He thinks big for his community, and we want to be a part of the same thing. And sometimes it's other groups too. Like one group that I really love is called Uncommon Construction,
Mm.
and they are teaching trades to young kids in New Orleans that can help them not just to learn a trade to help build something that's outside of a hospitality industry, but to really build a career in sustainable things. You're talking about everything in building a house, building homes, rebuilding their communities, literally. And I love what they're teaching. I love what they're doing over there. And there's so many different nonprofits around here that I could name that are really doing great work. And so, any type of way that we can get involved with ways that lift up our people, ways that help our people find trades and ways to sustain themselves in a city that sometimes makes that a little bit difficult. Economic development here is almost nil.
Right.
And so I'd like to find more ways to uplift the community and finding, in New Orleans, we like to do the same things over and over and over again.
Right.
And it's time for us to open our brains and open our minds to how we can attract more economic development. Sometimes it might be uncomfortable, but what's really uncomfortable
What's
is
that?
this city going bankrupt
Right.
and crumbling because we don't want to accept any other new ideas in. And I think we've had a problem with that for a long time in the city. And we're going to have to find ways to open our mind and find ways to get comfortable with uncomfortable ideas.
Okay. So although I didn't have this question already privy set up, but since you bring that up,
Mhm.
so with the recent elections and the results of the recent elections,
Mhm.
what do you foresee in the near future?
What I foresee, and I appreciate that question. What I foresee is this. I'm not a doomsday kind of person, but I want to be honest about something. Can I
Please
can I
do.
can I
Please
talk
do.
with
Yeah.
you? All right.
Real talk.
Yeah, real talk. Every 8 years when there's a mayor's election in this city, people tribalize, and I understand it. Politics is a blood sport, right? And I don't mean that literally, but lately it's getting a little dangerous,
yeah.
right? But figuratively, it's a blood sport and it's a passion sport, and people go out on a limb to run for office, and I think it takes incredible courage to do that. After an election, though, usually in the past we come back, together. The people that weren't successful, I understand you got to lick your wounds. You have to, you got to deal with that. because it's a lot of passion and love
Right.
and drive that it took to do these things. But I think it's time for the city, no matter who we voted for, no matter who it was, it's time for us to find ways to unify and
Oh,
to
yeah.
come back together, because honestly, there is no one leader in any office in this city that is going to be some messiah leader to walk us into what we have to do.
True.
If we want New Orleans to be better, all of us on every side of town have to come together in unity and with ideas and with fresh perspectives and with, more than anything, a drive and a spirit of communication, of collaborative communication. And it's going to be up to all of us and all the different facets of people in New Orleans to be able to move New Orleans forward with the aid of those in power that actually want to do something about it.
Correct.
And so I think we need to stop all this talk about this one person is the one, this one person is the one. There is no one person
Right.
in any office
Like
that will get us where we need to go if we are all not willing to do our individual and collective parts in every side of the city, in every facet that it takes to be able to do it.
Okay. So, and with that being said, you know, you said it's time for the city to come together. It's time for everybody who ran to come together. But it's not only time for that, because that's a must. That's something that has to happen.
Yes.
But it's also time for the city to heal.
Yes.
We've dealt with so much within this city,
Yes.
and it goes back. And I always speak of how, you know, we had Jim Crow, we had a whole bunch of racism and various things. Hurricanes, Katrina, Ida. We had
Even before that, remember the videos of Judge Ortiz being dragged out of buildings? Yeah, I mean, this is the trauma has been here for so long, man. And so all I'm saying is, we now need to come together collectively with I don't care if you're blue or red or whatever. If you
Right.
care about the city and you live here, we are at a crux of a
So-
time right now.
in this city, and especially a Black New Orleanian, this is the city that always has been the most resilient.
Hmm.
This is the city who's always got back up when it was knocked down. This city here has led all other cities in the nation as in rebounding, getting back to where we need to be.
Yes, sir. That's
So-
who we are as a people.
That's who we are.
That's who we are as a people. The majority of the people in the city, and we talking about us,
Yeah.
are the ones who rebuild this city and revive it. And so it's time to come back together and
It's time
focus
to
on the
do it
right
again.
things.
It's time to do it again. All right, so we're going to jump into the community calendar once again because I'm looking at the clock and, you know, it said time flies when you're having fun. So as she said earlier, being a Southern night, this Saturday, October the 18th, 2025, it's the Southern University and A&M College homecoming. So wherever you are, get to Baton Rouge. Go ahead and be on your way to see the Jaguars play. And I know we're not doing good right now. We got the same record as the Saints, but
Ooh, Lord.
hopefully we both pull up out of this. And then on Friday, October the 24th, 2025, the New Orleans Region Black Chamber of Commerce is hosting the Phenomenal Woman Empowerment Conference. We have several different panels: ladies in politics, sisterhood, ladies of the Divine Nine, lady medical leaders, and we got now Lady Carnival organizations. So I'm calling all of the Divine Nine, all your Lady Carnival crews, please be there on the 24th. It's $1,000 a table. That seats 10. It's $100 a ticket. And it's also $150 a vendor. We also have 2 trainings, How to Start a Business by Ms. Courtney Roy. And also we have a DOTD training. Right now, I see we got a caller on the line. Ms. Geneva, you're on the air.
Hello, and it is a pleasure to be able to speak. I Am Tucker is someone that I have known since she was very young,
Okay.
and I knew and was friends with her mom and her dad for many years. She has truly been an asset to this community on so many levels, and I am so proud to call her friend. I just want to direct something in terms of her devotion in trying to help other small businesses in this community. She is one of the founding members with the Collaborative, which is a small business organization that whose mantra, I will say, is to enhance the equity and parity of economics and economic gain for this community. And she has been diligently involved with every aspect of trying to get policy enacted with a purpose for our small business communities.
And so have
And
you,
I
ma'am.
just needed to make sure
All
that
right.
that was acknowledged.
Always.
I appreciate you, my dear friend Geneva. I love you, and I am so thankful for the leaders like you and like Barbara and like Ernest and Tina. And there's too many people to name right now, but it is on y'all's shoulders that I stand in order to be able to do this. So I thank you, and I love you, my dear friend.
All right. Thank you, Miss
Correction,
Geneva.
it is on our shoulders.
There it is. There it is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So once again, if anybody else want to call in or dial in, 504-582-9422. How can a listening audience get in contact with or involved with the I Am Kristen Tucker movement?
Movement. I never heard that before.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
movement. Yeah.
I tell you, I have an email address. It's my first and last name at ilsiengineering.com.
Okay.
Life has been crazy these days, and a lot's been going on. But I do try to meet with other small business owners as much as I can, and sometimes it's easier to be on, involved in panels and like what you've, and I really appreciate what you've invited me to for the Phenomenal Women Conference, to be able to connect with other women and be able to hear their stories. And sometimes as a small business owner, we can feel like we're going through things that it's like, how can we get through this? What's going on? You feel like you're drowning sometimes.
Right.
And you feel like you're on an island. And I love conferences like the one that you're putting together, because it lets people know you're not on an island. You're not alone. That's
Okay.
part of why the Collaborative is amazing. That's part of why it was started is a bunch of small business owners in the city after Katrina were like, are you getting this? What's going on? What's not going on? Are we a part of it? And they came together because Barbara Major brought everybody together and Geneva Coleman brought everybody together and said, well, let's talk about what's going on, what's not going on.
Right.
Right?
So I need a collaborative to go ahead and get a table so they can be there as
Yeah,
well.
you're right. Yeah, you're right.
So,
I tell you what, I got the table for the Collaborative.
all
Because
right.
I'm gonna take care of my people.
So what can we expect for I Am Kristen Tucker to bring or add to the Phenomenal Woman Empowerment
I haven't written my speech yet,
Conference?
but I'm gonna tell you this: we're gonna talk about hope.
All right.
It feels like hope is something that's diminished right now. Our spirits are weary when you turn on the national. You turn on the news each night and you got a man telling us that we didn't earn anything that we do, and we don't, you know what I mean? And then the city just got ripped apart in a different bunch of directions for all these elections and all these different things. And I just I would love to try to come together and talk about unification and hope.
Okay. So, and if you did not know, Sister I Am Kristen Tucker is the speaker for the event. So please buckle up your seatbelts and enjoy the ride, because I'm quite sure she will take us on one hell of a ride. So I Am,
Yes, sir.
how does it feel to be a phenomenal woman?
Well, I'm just putting one foot in front of the other every day, my friend. You know what I mean? And I think that it's just caring about my community and really wanting to move things forward and assist in any kind of way that I can, where I can.
Right.
I can't do everything. There's a lot of things I don't know how to do, but I tell you what, I'm a student of life. I'm a student in school right now. I'm actually pursuing my master's at Georgetown right
Okay.
now in public relations and corporate communications. And I just want to continue to learn and build relationships and bridges where I feel like a lot of things are trying to be burnt down. And if those bridges and relationships can help uplift my community or another small business owner or anything like that, that's what matters.
Build bridges instead of walls. That way you'll always have friends.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm Kristen Tucker. How does it feel to be black to business?
I don't know another way, brother.
All right, so that's the end of the show. We'll see you next week on Black to Business, where we will have the committee for the Phenomenal Woman Empowerment Conference here on the air. So please stay tuned, and we'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Enjoy the rest of your day. And once again, happy hump day.
Thank you, brother.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily express the views or opinions of Equity Media, its management, staff, or affiliates of WBOK.
This is a rebroadcast on WBOK.
Good afternoon. I want to welcome you to Dr. Clark 101, the Living Classroom. My name is Professor George Amity. Dr. Clark is out of town, so I'll be doing his show today. And of course, the first Wednesday of every month, Dr. Clark 101, we do Politics 101.